Hello, everyone. I'm David Younger,
Hi, I'm Elvin Aydın-Keles.
and we created Chronic Illness Therapy to provide support and resources for people living with chronic health conditions. Hi, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone in the US that was celebrating. Going to talk today about something very close to my heart, which is mindfulness. And for me, the most mindfulness has been the most powerful single agent of change for my personal growth, aside from therapy. And Jack Kornfield, who's an American Buddhist psychologist, likens the mind to a puppy that jumps at every little stimulus, so that walking down the street is like a carnival. And mindfulness is the practice of gently and firmly bringing the puppy back, training the mind so that it is not in control.
I love that.
Yeah, me too. Because the thing with thinking about the mind as a puppy and a distracted puppy is that when a puppy gets distracted, you don't yell at it or hit it. You are loving and firm and consistent. And that's what you need to do with your mind and training your mind. And almost all of us are dealing with significant levels of stress and anxiety about family, relationships, health, work, finances, etc. And ongoing stress and anxiety leads to an overactive nervous system. I spent over a decade completely at the mercy of my mind, day and night, which was exhausting, painful, and an emotional roller coaster. And then subsequently, I learned about mindfulness and how to apply it, which changed my life. And it's why I'm going to be training with two of the leaders in the field, Jack Kornfield, who I just mentioned, and Tara Brach, to incorporate formal mindfulness teaching in my private practice. So there are two myths that I believe that keep people from exploring and practicing mindfulness, the practice of taming the mind. The first myth is the goal of mindfulness meditation is not to have thoughts. This is false. It would be like asking a dog not to bark. The nature of the mind, if left to its own devices, is to produce thoughts and react to stimuli. So if you walk down the street with a puppy and just let it do its thing, you'll never get where you want to go because the puppy will be pouncing, chasing, licking, running all over the place. That's the puppy's nature. When you train a puppy, you don't expect it not to act like one. You don't abuse it when it does. You lovingly, consistently, and firmly bring the puppy back, like I said before, when it gets distracted. Since puppies are constantly distracted, your job is to simply do it over and over again. And our minds are constantly reacting to stimuli just as puppies do. Mindfulness meditation is the practice of cultivating awareness of the nature of your mind. This is similar to the way that you train a puppy. Again, it's not about expecting the puppy not to act like a puppy. It's all about consistently, lovingly, and firmly bringing the puppy back when it gets distracted.
So I love this. So it's about teaching your mind about its nature.
Yes.
So you understand it's a lot of people will understand this if we put if we make the connection between our bodies and our minds. A lot of people say in their mid-30s and mid-40s, they finally understand how their body works, what they need to do for it to thrive. So the same then we can say is true for the mind.
Exactly. And we have such an emphasis. Actually, what I was about to talk about is that mindfulness is like the gym for the mind.
Great.
So people are encouraged to exercise on a regular basis because of all the health benefits. But what about exercising the most complex organ in our body, the brain?
Mm-hmm.
In order for exercise to be beneficial, you're supposed to do it on a regular basis. The same is true for mindfulness. For new practitioners, we're starting with a mind that has tons of overgrowth. And practicing mindfulness will initially feel strange. All sorts of thoughts and feelings are going to pop up. And maybe you'll experience resistance in the form of a little voice telling you it's a waste of time. You might fall asleep when you do it. but it's all grist for the mill. A former meditation teacher of mine encouraged us when we were overloaded with thoughts during our practice that it wasn't a waste of time. It was the mind's way of emptying the trash. We often have to do this for months or even years before it starts to quiet down. And still you're going to have times when your mind, you go to meditate and your mind is just doesn't quiet down. Which brings us to the second myth about mindfulness and meditation, which is what I hear so many people say: you cannot practice mindfulness if you have an overactive mind.
Those are all my excuses, all of
Right.
them.
Yes, good. Well, hopefully this will convince you.
Yeah, I think it will.
So I used to take pride in the fact that I had an overactive mind, and it made me feel smarter and kind of tortured in a Woody Allen sort of way. And it meant I was unable to fall asleep at night. I never knew what my state of mind was going to be from one day to the next. It was a roller coaster, and my mind was the engineer. I've heard so many people tell me they could never practice mindfulness or meditate because their minds are too active or they're too distracted. But these are the people that can most benefit from practicing mindfulness. And you have to remember, the goal is not to have a blank mind. Rather, the goal is to practice observing your thoughts and letting them come and go.
I love this as well. Do you want to say that again? Because that's what people think, that they're just going to be in a place of bliss and there's not going to be anything that worries them or upsets them or anything. I think there is something very substantial you're saying.
Yes.
It's different.
Yes, absolutely. So to remember that the goal is not to have or to achieve a blank mind. Rather, the goal is to practice observing your thoughts and letting them come and go.
Such a power in that.
Yes. And what I would love to do now with you, that we can do, and hopefully everyone watching together, is a quick exercise.
Fantastic.
To practice this. So sit comfortably. Start with your eyes open, maintaining a soft focus in front of you. And just take 5 slow, deep breaths, and then allow your eyes to close, and I'll do it with you. So allow your eyes to close, and now breathe normally, and feel your body in the chair, and slowly scan your body from head to toe for any areas of tension or discomfort. If you have any pain or discomfort, just imagine that part of your body that's in pain, relaxing and healing. Continue to breathe normally. Count to yourself 1 on the in-breath and 2 on the out-breath, up to 10, and then start over. And if you get distracted, probably within seconds, your mind will wander. You begin to think about something, you get lost in your thought. When you realize that you've been thinking, just say to yourself, thinking. Allow the thought to float away and return to counting your breaths. So I'll let you do this for a couple of minutes. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back into the room.
So what you said was about recognizing. That's thinking. You know, that was helpful. You know, when thoughts just flood in, and before I get lost in them, it's a bit like what we do in therapy, isn't it? When something is happening in the room or online, we go like, ooh, that's that kind of a transference, or this is what's happening here. So that suddenly opens the process for us. And
Yes.
we'll bring it into the room. So we do this inside of ourselves, with ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Pausing and just naming that if you're thinking, if you're feeling something, if you're feeling tension or discomfort, you're not trying to get rid of it or do something about it. You're just labeling it.
Mm-hmm. Great.
And I don't know about you, but you find many times people won't make it to 10 before your mind wanders off. And your only job is to consistently and lovingly bring your mind back to the breath, like you're bringing the puppy back to heel.
Okay. Thank
Great.
you.
Yeah, that was great. And please, if this was helpful, like and share and subscribe. And you can check out our website, chronicillnesstherapy.com, and our Facebook page, Chronic Illness Therapy. And we'll see you next week.
Wonderful. Thank you.